55 seconds left. Now it's Devin Booker, one of the best players in the NBA. Why might ratings be down, NBA Adam Silver? Because of this. Why? I do not want Devin Booker walking into the paint. Hedge the screen. Get him out of the paint again. Where's Nurkic rolling to? Austin Reeves is standing and waiting. You're in drop coverage. You just put Anthony Davis on an island in a 2-on-1. Look at how this doesn't have to be Devin Booker. This could be me. This could be my mom. Look at this. You just leave Anthony Davis out to dry in a 2-on-1. How easy is that?
Later in the day, news started coming out about Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, responding to all of the things that people have been saying about the decline in viewership. Now, why do we think we're witnessing a decline in viewership? Well, I think it's a multi-layered issue. First of all, we have the style of play. Teams are too redundant, playing the same style. 2, the amount of threes. Teams are attempting around 35 threes a game. So on any given night, you can see a game where teams are attempting anywhere from 70 to 100 3-point shots in a single game. You have that. You have the rampant low management. You have the fact that players don't seem to care about the sport anymore. Just go look at the All-Star weekends. And also you see the fact that they've taken all the resistance out of the game, where now there's no defense whatsoever. You pile all these things together, and you'll start to witness a decline in the product, and people have been raising the alarm bells. But it seems like one person doesn't seem to think that anything is wrong, and he thinks that, look, the things that you people are talking about are not an issue. And he has actually come up with his own explanation as to why ratings are dipping, and that person is Adam Silver. And I want to read some of what he had to say in response to what people have been saying. Silver blames World Series and elections for NBA's low ratings. Continues on. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver believes the league's slow start in viewership rating this season stems from external factors like the World Series and the highly contentious U.S. presidential election rather than issues with the game itself. Addressing concerns over the ratings dip, Silver's emphasized that the NBA's performance during the first 2 weeks of the season is not necessarily reflective of the long-term trends. I don't think it has anything to do with the 3-point shot. I think we're just looking at a couple of weeks of ratings. There's always some unique things. This year, we're up against the World Series, Dodgers-Yankees, 2 very attractive teams. They brought in big audiences. You had to any other sports league. You heard what he had to say. Very, very, very discouraging. Very, very discouraging. And I'll tell you why. The reason his comments are discouraging is because it dismisses everything that the fans are saying. It's almost like as if your opinions really don't matter. Okay? You guys are complaining, but what you're complaining about is irrelevant. And now we can show you reasons why what you're saying is irrelevant. Look at the World Series. Look at the presidential election. Look at the searches on Google. Those things are saying we're still popular. So therefore, if you guys are complaining about the style, the style of the games, too many threes, no defense, players not caring, it's all in your mind. It doesn't matter. I think that is a wrong-headed approach to the problem.
So this is where it all started right here. He got into it with
Damn,
the
is he
ref
mushing
stuff.
that nigga?
You heard what he said? Look at what he said.
I read. Oh, Jesus.
He said, you a bitch ass nigga. He said, look. And then this is how it ended.
I mean, I don't mind. I'll take a fine. I don't really care. I thought, Ben Taylor was fucking terrible tonight. I thought that on most nights, a couple of the, out of the 3, there's 1 or 2 that just fucked the game up. And it's been like that a couple games in a row. Denver was tough, obviously. You come out tonight, you competing pretty hard. The third quarter, I get a bullshit tech, changes the whole dynamic of the game, changes the whole flow of the game. And, most of the refs are trying hard. I like a lot of the refs are trying hard. They're pretty fair. They communicate well. And then you got the other ones who just want to be dicks and it just kind of fucks the game up. Nobody's coming to see that shit. They come to see the players. And I think we're losing a little bit of the fabric of what the NBA is and was, and it's been disappointing this season. You could look up most of my texts this year have been with Ben Taylor officiating. So at a certain point as a player, you feel it's personal, and it's never a good place to be. That's not why we lost tonight. We got outplayed, but it definitely makes it tougher to overcome.
Yep, and like you said, that nigga probably out of 250 easy.
He's at least out of
Right.
the house.
That happened 3 days ago.
Yeah, a few days ago, yeah.
So right now I'm seeing here at least down 50. Hold on.
1 year ago. Oh,
You
that
looking at
video's
Oh,
from a year ago. This wasn't just after the other night. The thing about him pointing in the ref face was 3 days ago, but that I didn't even
Oh,
know
that,
that because I saw
I didn't know
this.
the clip you just played was from a year ago.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I thought that was from this year
I sent
too.
that to you. I sent that to you, and I thought that was recent. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
that
yeah,
happened in the game. So
yeah.
basically, they put his receipts showing you that he has no love for some of the refs in the NBA, but that's not unlike any other of the other superstars in the league. A lot of
they've been
people,
going. They've been at it for the refs for quite some time. Probably these last,
yeah,
I don't want to say 5 years. They've
yeah,
been. It's been
I'm
a
with them.
battle.
I'm with them. I advocate for it because for the longest time they've been saying people, you always hear people say that the league is soft. It's grown soft. It's nothing like it used to be. Where's the toughness? You can barely touch anybody without getting a foul call or without, and if you can't say anything, you can't show any type of emotion without getting a tech. So, a lot of people are basically saying toughen the league up. What is happening? This is why the ratings are down. This is why nobody wants to watch it because nothing interesting is happening aside from niggas shooting 3-pointers all night long. And they're
Yeah.
saying we don't show it. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see people just pulling from, behind pulling the tray ball all night long. We want to see people down in the post. We want to see people banging. We want to see people getting into it, the skirmishes, the fights, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. That's what makes hockey so exciting for a lot of people because it's, they let them go. If two players got a problem, I understand you can't necessarily allow that for the NBA, because
Niggas gonna Agent Zero and bring a
yeah,
whistle.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that we should have another a brawl at the palace, but definitely some of these plays where players are getting called for ticky-tack fouls and all of this stuff. We don't watch the games for that. We want to see tough players battle it out. We want to see y'all battle. Let these players battle. They grown ass men, conditioned grown ass men at that. Let them have the court, man. Let these boys play. We want to see that. So I'm with him. I'm with everybody. And Fred VanVleet ain't the only one that has trashed the refs.
No.
He's not the only one.
I actually like that energy. I like that energy. I think
love
that's good for the game. I like the willingness to call them out, even though you're facing them fines. But
If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Basketball, which is Mr. James had got on public record and said the refs are trash. Years within the last 5 years.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but like you say, the game definitely has changed. We in the Steph Curry, what's my name from Atlanta? What's that
Trae
Atlanta
Young.
dude?
Trae
Trae Young
Young,
era, yeah. With Damian Lillard, everybody want to pull that trigger.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of people blaming Steph for that too, basically saying that
Steph for that.
it's his fault that the league has changed the way it is. But it's like,
You can't blame
I have this ability. I have this ability to shoot from anywhere. That don't mean you can do what I do.
Me and a select few can do it.
But no,
Else is imitating.
I understand the incentive because you see Steph do it every night, but I think it's deeper than that. I think what you're saying about the refs, basically, every time you see somebody go to the hole, there's a whistle, every single time. So what they feel like is it's probably not even worth it to play that game anymore because every time I go down there, I'm going to be penalized for it.
Now, if you think, dog, if y'all remember back, I don't know how many games y'all have actually seen because I haven't seen that many. I mean, I've seen it probably through old footage now. But I mean, when Shaq was playing in the league, dog, if they called every foul that he actually got down there, he would have had an opportunity to probably go to the line,
40 times a game, right?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Which in itself that's not fair to Shaq's detriment. He was saying the same thing. He was like, they say how big I am, and they not calling some of these fouls, and motherfuckers is coming with it against him. And he was like, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
That they not calling these fouls.
LeBron was saying some of the same things, even though we know he flops a lot of the time, but he has definitely suffered, I feel like, in his career from some of that because he's just a big guy. He's 6'8", damn near whatever he is, 280 or 270. I don't know what he is now, but anytime you're a bigger player, Giannis, all of the Dwight Howards and those type of players,
Yeah.
it's kind of difficult to call it in the paint, and I understand that, but at some point we got to let these boys play, man. We want to see them. We want to see these boys play.
I was watching something, and I feel like it was I think it was Agent Zero. I don't remember who that was I was watching. And they were basically saying that the league is kind of boring now because everybody plays the same exact way.
Yeah,
you running
that sound like something he said.
And they were showing clips of it as he was talking, like you're showing Wemby coming up to the 3 line, throwing up a 3, and he's missing horribly, or whoever. Like everybody's just throwing up 3s, and it's like nobody's trying anymore. There's no creativity. There, basically the death of the 2-pointer.
Yeah.
There's no more mid-range.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel that, and I think all of this stuff is connected. I think Steph definitely had an impact on the game, but I don't want to necessarily lay that on his slab like he did something wrong. It's just his gift, and people are trying to imitate it. But I think they're trying to imitate it because it gets you better results, and you don't get a whistle every time you try to play.
Yeah. And it's so effective. Shooting a 3-pointer does bring with it a host of other things like space in the floor, and obviously it's if you're a good shooter, then it's considered a high percentage shot if you're open, and it's just a host of things that come with it, especially for offensive teams that have a bunch of shooters or players that depend on a bunch of offensive shooters like the Lakers, like, other players that have superstars that have shooters around them.
But on the other hand, when shooting the 3 goes wrong,
right?
When it goes wrong,
golly.
The Soprano zone.
And the officials just said, no, we don't need to look at it. Well, you need to look at that.
Off the screen from Adams. Steven gets it back. Russ triggers again, and he's short this time.
Hornets don't have a timeout. Need to make something happen here. Down by 2. Big Frank!
Get the basketball, and obviously Kemba Walker won it in his hands. Probes with it, draws the defense. Frank's got a good look. Just left it short.
There he goes. Oh, it looked like Manu was going to come off there.
Oh, they missed Ginobili. They find him now for 3.
Yep.
It goes wrong, it goes bad.
Bruh. I hate to keep mentioning this guy, but I've been watching a lot of his content lately. Anton Daniels owns season tickets for the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're like courtside or whatever. And he did a video where he was talking about basically like he barely even uses his tickets anymore. He usually gives them out to clients or gives them to friends and stuff to use because he's like, I'm not really even interested in going because these motherfuckers are not playing the way that they used to, you know what I'm saying? And they would what he said specifically, which is interesting that you mentioned hockey, is that he's been going to Red Wings games lately. And he said it was a much better experience for him. He had like close seats or whatever, and he really, really enjoyed it. So it's ironic that you said that, but that's the same thing that he said. And this is a totally unrelated video. He wasn't even talking about the Fred VanVleet. I don't think he was. But, I think that's the sentiment of a lot of people. And this is why I prefer, what's the name of that? I prefer playoff basketball a little more because it's a lot more, the refs are like considerate of the air. Yeah, they know that this is high stakes. They don't, they can't really afford to be calling all these fouls and all that shit. So,
and they can change the game. Like forever, you could change the game with one call. Whole dynamic of the game can switch.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Another thing that we've talked about before, just between us, is the fact that you buy tickets to some of these games, and you look for superstars to be there. You want superstars to be there. You want, especially if you go to a Golden State game versus the Pistons, you're expecting to see Steph Curry. You're expecting to see, some of the Klay Thompson when he was on the team. You was expecting to see Steph and Klay. And every night to night, you never know what you're gonna get. You don't know if Steph's gonna suit up or not. You don't know if Giannis is gonna suit up or not. So that's another factor that, fans are getting tired of. They're paying their hard-earned money. Everybody ain't got money to be paying for these expensive tickets like that. So when they go there, they want to see their favorite players. They want to see these superstars. So, that's another factor as well that is affecting the league, I feel like, anyway. So,
You say viewership is down, huh?
Yeah, they're saying viewership is down. They're saying Adam Silver got some work to do to try to figure out how he can, basically get it back on, get shit popping.
Well, I could say this: basketball used to be more easily accessible as well, though. You know what I'm saying? Being the game on TNT, TBS, your local channels used to broadcast it. Now you selling content to the highest bidder. Amazon getting games. A lot of games is on ESPN. A lot of games is on NBA Network. You got a lot of stuff that's not easily accessible. You know what I'm saying? To people. People trying to cut them cords and save that bread. So it's a lot to it that they got to think of. You want people to watch your games, you got to do a lot. You got to think of alternate ways, and it ain't about that mighty dollar. You can't just sell to the highest bidder.
So this is the post that I just saw the other day. I guess they are trying to figure out ways to get more engagement or whatever. And I saw that they're considering eliminating the Eastern and the Western Conference. There's a rumor that that's been floating around.
I don't think none of no stuff like that. I think it's access. You have to give more people better access, make it easier accessible for people to watch games. I don't think eliminating no holds, doing stuff like that is going.
So what they're saying is they would rather it be to where the best 16 teams out of the entire league is the ones that go to the playoffs versus it being 8 from the East, 8 from the West. And I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's kind of a good idea. I don't know. I think it would be weird, but I think it would make things a lot more interesting and less predictable. And it would make the argument like, there ain't nobody in the East, so it's like he had an unfair advantage. Like, it would kind of change those narratives when it comes to people winning championships.
I could kind of see it that way, but despite the best teams are going to be there regardless.
If you have the ability to play, we understand that players do get injured. We understand that there are injuries that happen. I think what I'm hearing from a lot of people and a lot of fans is basically, if you have the ability to play and you're not really injured like that, then play the game. When you're an owner and your superstar that you just paid millions upon millions of dollars goes out, obviously, as an owner, you want them back on the floor to put asses in seats. Because you understand that that's your draw, that's your main, that's your guy, that's the person that's going to fill up seats and get tickets in.
And that's how you're going to win.
But if you saying that, but what's the key word that you're not saying? This is their business.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
But so not only is it a business to this owner, it's a business to the player too. Granted, it's what they love and what they're dreaming of, but ultimately it falls down to this is a business. And if I want to be successful and I want to have a longevity in this business, I have to take care of my body.
That's true.
And that might mean, right, exactly. That's all I'm getting at. It might mean sitting out some of these games.
Yeah, I get the logic. And there also lies the problem too, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you thinking as a fan, from a fan standpoint, let's say, I don't even know what the tickets are for a Golden State game, but I know it's not cheap.
Not at all.
Right. I know it wouldn't be as the price for no regular game.
Yeah, exactly. So you figure
and Detroit or something like that.
So let's just take me for instance. If I was to buy tickets for my whole family, I got 3 boys, wife. That's 5 tickets that I got to pay for to try to go see the Golden State Warriors play the Pistons. I wanted everybody to experience this event. Granted, now the tickets were probably $140 a ticket, maybe.
A whop, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not, for me, that's not chump change. I got to come up with that money. And
that's
now
just walking through the door. Now you ain't even park.
Exactly. That's not including parking. That's not including the buying snacks and anything else that we got to get. Now I done spent all this money and I bought these tickets with the hopes that my kids get a chance to see Steph Curry shoot, blow some shoot some threes. And all of a sudden, kind of find out he not even playing. He don't even suit up. Not because he's injured, just because, like you said, it's a night where they playing the Pistons. They feel like they don't even need to play him. It's a rest day for him. Like all of that stuff. The league didn't even have those type of days back in the day. It wasn't no rest days for players. If you could play, suit up, you playing.